On October 18, 1867, the U.S. purchased Alaska from Russia for $7.2 million. Ignored by this exchange were Alaskan Natives, those whose ancestral lineage spanned over 10,000 years in the icy territory. The U.S. discriminated against, segregated, and forced Native Alaskans into assimilation to acquire basic rights. Often forgotten is the Indigenous civil rights movement, one that began in Alaska and passed historic legislation decades before the continental U.S. It stands especially behind one female trailblazer, whose lifelong fight and powerful words have remained hidden from history books. After 1867, white immigrants continued to tear away native Southeast Alaskan land of the Haida, Tsimshian, and Tlingit tribes. They segregated schools, neighborhoods, theaters, and businesses, while No Natives Allowed signs banned Indigenous people from their own land.
There were so many incidents where we didn't have access to our very own land that we were accustomed to using. There was the effort to make sure that none of us were going to speak Tlingit. So my grandmother whispered the language in the house, and I would be always trying to learn, but she'd say, "No, I don't want you to get in trouble." It was like we had to sneak to speak our language. And I'm sorry, but it makes me emotional. Still.
Native communities and activists worked hard for change. Soon, a Tlingit woman's powerful words and drive for bold action would advance a movement against generational discrimination. Her name was Elizabeth Peratrovich. Elizabeth was born on July 4th, 1911.
Her Tlingit name was Kahkalat.
And she spent her early years learning valued Tlingit oratory and public speaking skills. As a young adult, she met her husband Roy. The two were connected by a shared drive for justice and equality for Native Alaskans. They became an activist team, eventually leading as the grand presidents of the Alaskan Native Brotherhood and Sisterhood, organizations formed to pioneer civil rights for Indigenous people. In 1941, they moved to Juneau, believing the capital offered the greatest potential for legislative change. And in 1943, working with Alaskan Governor Ernest Greening, Elizabeth, Roy, and others drafted an anti-discrimination bill with a clear goal: to ban segregation and racial discrimination. Despite some support, many did not want the bill to pass, and in the end, it was rejected. The next opportunity to pass the bill would be in 1945. Instead of compromising it, they adapted and forged a new plan. Governor Greening got districts redrawn, which allowed for more opportunity for Alaskan Natives to run for office. Elizabeth began to rally support. During this time, travel was difficult, but Elizabeth managed to secure a free extra seat with a Juneau bush pilot. She flew across Alaska, and from there traveled, sometimes by sled dog, to communities to stress the importance of the Anti-Discrimination Act and to find Native Alaskans willing to run for office.
Not only did she get support for the anti-discrimination bill, but she got a lot of Alaskan Native people to run for office, which was really important.
By speaking out, writing letters, talking to the governors, lobbying legislators, traveling around the state, they challenged the status quo that way.
Her attempts were successful. 2 Native legislators were elected, new chapters of the Alaskan Native Brotherhood and Sisterhood were established, and word spread about the Anti-Discrimination Act. On February 5th, 1945, the day had come. Alaskan Native representatives joined with others dedicated to equality, and the decision came. The bill had passed the House. But it wasn't over yet. It still had to pass in the Senate, where the body was smaller, with no Alaskan Native representation, and fierce opposition. One senator remarked, "The races should be kept further apart." Who are these people barely out of savagery who want to associate with us whites with over 5,000 years of recorded civilization behind us? Roy Peratrovich provided testimony, reminding the chamber of the discrimination that had just been showcased and that Alaskan Natives have been experiencing. As the session was about to end, they asked if members of the public had anything to say. In that moment, Elizabeth walked to the front of the room and began her powerful testimony, speaking, "I would not have expected that I, who you say am barely out of savagery, would have to remind gentlemen with 5,000 years of recorded civilization of our Bill of Rights." She explained how when she and Roy had moved to Juneau and found a home, they were refused because they were Alaskan Natives. She continued, "There are three kinds of persons who practice discrimination. First, the politician, who wants to maintain an inferior minority group so he can always promise them something. Second, the Mr. and Mrs. Jones, who aren't quite sure of their social position and who are friendly one day, but not the next. Third, the person who believes in the superiority of the white race." An opposing senator challenged her, asking if the proposed bill would eliminate discrimination. Elizabeth confidently responded, "Do your laws against larceny and murder prevent those crimes? No law will eliminate crime, but at least you as legislators can assert to the world that you recognize the evil of the present situation and speak your intent to help us overcome discrimination." When the vote was taken, the Anti-Discrimination Act passed. It was the first anti-discrimination law in the United States, predating the 1964 Civil Rights Act by nearly 2 decades. Governor Greening went on to say the act was the most important piece of legislation passed in Alaska, and would have never passed without Elizabeth's speech. Segregation and discrimination on the basis of race was officially illegal. Elizabeth had helped lead transformative change and forged her own path to a better shared future for her community. After a lifetime of activism, Elizabeth passed away on December 1st, 1958. But her legacy of perseverance, power, and bold action is eternal. And in 1988, February 16th was signed into Alaskan law as Elizabeth Peratrovich Day.
It was inspirational. It was inspiring for us young Tlingit people at the time to have people to look up to when you're constantly being put down.
Speaking up makes a difference, and the words of just one person can make an incredible difference.